Good morning, students. Now, the next feature of democracy that we discussed in the previous class also, we'll be discussing the same feature in detail, that is free and fair electoral competition. Now, what do we mean by electoral competition? Electoral competition means the competition to win the election. So, in short, if you see, election itself is electoral competition. So, what happens in election? Number of candidates or number of political parties, they contest, they compete to win the election. So, that is called as electoral competition. Now, again there is a case study. First case study is of China and the next case study is of Mexico, which will make it clear that what is basically that the lesson is talking about free and fair electoral competition. So point 1, if you see, in China elections are regularly held after every 5 years. So just like our country, that is India, after every 5 years election is conducted over there in China also, for electing the country's parliament called National People's Congress. So the parliament of China is called as National People's Congress. So just like in our country we conduct elections and the candidates are elected to represent the people in parliament. Okay, in the same manner the people who are elected, they go and take their seats in parliament. Second point, before contesting election, a candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. Now, unlike India, however big the party may be, say if BJP is the largest party, no other party needs the approval of BJP. But in China, what is the case? Any candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party, that is CCP. That is why China is called as a communist country. It's a one party system. One big or major party is Chinese Communist Party. And any candidate who has to contest election, they need to take the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. That is, if CCP does not allow, a candidate cannot contest election. The government is always formed by the Communist Party. So that is the case. If the party is so big and has so much of control over other smaller parties and any other candidate, of course the government is always formed by Communist Party. So elections are conducted. 3,000 members are elected and some of them are there who belong to other parties. Yes, of course, but they need the approval of Chinese Communist Party. And these 3,000 members then choose the president. And out of these 3,000 members, few of them are elected by army as well. Now, only those who are members of the CCP, that is Chinese Communist Party, or 8 smaller parties who support CCP. Smaller parties do exist, but they need to support CCP. They cannot have an ideology that is different to Chinese Communist Party. Only they were allowed to contest election. So in short, if you see, people don't have any choice. Right to vote is there. But what kind of right to vote does it mean? Right to vote is only satisfactory when we have right to choose. We know what is going to be the result. We know Communist Party is going to form the government. So my vote is just an exercise of universal adult franchise. My vote does not give me any choice. So that is what. Now if you see, is this a free election? Is this a fair electoral competition? How is it fair? When I don't have any choice, it cannot be a fair electoral competition. The Chinese Communist Party has so much of control that any other party cannot contest election until and unless it takes the approval of the Communist Party. And free election, my vote is just an exercise. I'm just casting my vote. I am actually not enjoying my right to franchise because I don't have right to choose. Right to vote can only be said to be successful when I have right to choose. There's difference between right to vote and right to choose. Next case study is of Mexico. Now from 1930 to 2000, there was a complete control of PRI. Although the short form is PRI, it goes opposite. The complete name of the party is Institutional Revolutionary Party. Now, Mexico holds elections after every 6 years to elect its president. The only difference is here we have 5 years, China 5 years, and Mexico 6 years. And the second thing that has been mentioned in your book as well, the country has never been under a military or dictator's rule. So, unlike Pakistan, no military rule, unlike Germany, no dictatorship. Then what was the problem over here? The problem was that PRI won elections. Yes, election was conducted, but just like China, here also the government was always formed by PRI, because PRI used dirty tricks, malpractices and fraud to win the elections. Now, what were those dirty tricks? First point, if you see, all the government employees had to attend its party meetings. Now, all the people who were employed under government services, they were compelled to attend the party meetings. Now, it shows what? It shows connection between politicians and bureaucrats. So, the executive is under the complete control of the legislature.